Hey, welcome back. This week I used my handy meal rotation planner to come up with 5 family meals. Several of them are easy weeknight meals and a couple of them are a little more involved, but I think they'll come in handy and be helpful for you, and I hope you enjoy the video. I'm back to cooking this week, and I looked at my meal rotation, decided I wanted to start with oven baked pork tacos, and then I added on Cobb salad because we haven't had that for a while, and I did that. I did not end up making Hawaiian haystacks this time around. Then I decided to do steak and potato, like a steak and potato skillet, which actually turned into more of a sheet pan dinner. And then the last meal I chose was barbecue chicken and potatoes. And then I left 2 meals open if my daughter wanted to cook, or we might have leftovers that night. And that's what it looks like this week. Baked tacos are so delicious, but they are a little more involved. So I started by pressure cooking the pork roast. And while that was cooking, because it takes over an hour in the pressure cooker, or you could cook it all day in a slow cooker. While that was cooking, I fried up my corn tortillas. You're gonna want to make sure you fry these up before you make the tacos because it makes them more flexible. They're not gonna break as easy, and they just get slightly toasted. They will toast more in the oven as well. So once the pork roast was done, I shredded it up, and then I added some enchilada sauce to give it that flavor, extra flavor, although it was seasoned before I put it in the pressure cooker. So I mixed that around, and then I had found this queso fresco, and I hadn't had it for a long time. It's so good. It's such a yummy cheese. It's like a fresh cheese, more like a mozzarella. And I wanted to try it with my tacos this time. You could definitely do like a Mexican style cheese as well if you wanted just a regular cheese. But I tried the crumbled cheese, and it was really good. So I forgot to show myself. I showed the first few that I made, but then I didn't record myself towards the end, but that's okay. I filled up this whole tray with these tacos, and then the tray was ready to go in the oven, and I put it in the oven at 400 degrees for probably about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. And they get nice and toasted on the outside. Now you're gonna wanna serve them up pretty quick because they will start to get soggy on the bottom. One of the things that made this meal a little bit more involved was the fact that I made homemade Spanish rice instead of just getting a package or a box mix of Spanish rice. But this is a really fabulous recipe I found years ago. And you just toast the rice first and get it golden brown. Then you add your seasonings, which was an onion and some of these green chilies. And then I bought these cute little pre-packaged garlics, so I chopped those up and added that as well. That saved a little bit of time. Then you're gonna add broth, and I only had bouillon, so I added water and then this bouillon for the broth part. And then you're gonna add a tomato puree or tomato sauce to give it that classic orange tomatoey flavor. Now once you've got all those ingredients mixed together, you're gonna let it simmer for 20 minutes on low, and then you'll fluff it up and it'll be ready to serve. I did forget to add salt before I cooked it, so I had to add it after. But it worked just fine. It tasted great, and it was so yummy. I hadn't had this for a long time. So I served up my tacos with my rice, with a little bit of garnish, sour cream to garnish, and jalapenos to garnish, and it was delicious. And we ate the leftovers for a few days as well. This was a great meal. It was so easy. I just got some bone-in chicken thighs, and I started with a dry rub, some chili powder, some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, or smoked paprika would be even better, some salt, pepper, and a little bit of dark brown sugar. I rubbed that all in, and I did that on both sides. Once that was done, I added the liquid barbecue sauce and brushed it on to both sides. Or maybe I just did the top. Yes, and I put it skin down, which was a great way to cook it. Then I cut up some potatoes. Unless they were small, I left them whole, and I added some oil and salt and pepper. For the coleslaw, I had some vegetables that I needed to use up, some cabbage that needed to be used, so I decided to make a coleslaw to go with this meal. I had already cut up some cabbage, so I just cut it up even smaller, and then added some carrots and a little more green cabbage. Then I added some mayonnaise, sour cream, sugar, a lemon, juice of a lemon, white pepper, and it called for celery seed, ground celery seed, but I didn't have any, so I used coriander. I mixed that all up, and then I believe I added a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and it was a bit tangy for my preference, so I probably would have left that out next time. But then I added a little more mayonnaise and salt to just kind of counterbalance that tanginess. By then, the other food was done and ready to serve, and like I said, this was such a delicious meal, so easy, and just a great weeknight meal. In my family, we like to have chicken Caesar salad a lot, but we don't necessarily have a lot of other salads, so I thought it would be nice to have something different. So I decided on a Cobb salad. So I cut up the ham and bacon that I had cooked in the microwave, the bacon I did, and then I just cut up a bunch of different veggies. I had boiled some eggs the night before, so I peeled those and sliced those and just added all the vegetables and things to a big bowl of salad. And then when we went to serve it, we just scooped out the things that we wanted, added the meats we wanted and cheese if we decided we wanted that. And then I just used ranch dressing. I don't really know what dressing Cobb salad usually uses. If you guys have suggestions, leave that in the comments. But it tasted really good with ranch, and I really enjoyed it. We toasted up some artisan bread with butter, and some of it had a little bit of sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. In this video, I'm trying a few transitions. They're pretty bad, but I'm giving them a try. So I started by cutting up yellow potatoes, and I microwaved mine to get them soft. And then I chopped some garlic. Again, in these prepackaged, made it really easy. And then I heated oil and ghee, but you could use butter as well. And I got it really, really hot so that I could sear the steaks quickly and then put them on the sheet pan so that I could bake them the rest of the way. And I added this Montreal steak seasoning to mine as well. And since the oil was so hot, the garlic did burn, so I wish I would have not added the garlic at this time. So once those were seared on both sides, I removed them, put them on the sheet pan, and then I added more ghee, and I took my steamed potatoes and I put them, well, I added some more garlic first and some fresh parsley and rosemary. I didn't have any fresh rosemary, so I just used dried. and I added my steamed potatoes and just coated them with the seasonings and the ghee and put those on the sheet pan as well. And then with the leftover seasoning, I just put this pre-cut Brussels sprouts that I had bought in a package in the pan to coat as well. And then I stuck those on top. Then I put them in the oven and let them cook. And some people in my family thought the steak got a little too done. So this is kind of more of a cheap steak. Like, you might not want your fanciest, most expensive steak used in this recipe, but it's super easy and it was really, really tasty. Like I mentioned before, I didn't even use the 5th meal this week. We had a lot of leftovers. It was a great week, and I'll see you guys here next time.